Hey guys, welcome back to Talk Story with me, Gavin Sugai, the podcast where we build communities together one conversation at a time. I'm here with my friend Jehzan Jehzan Exclusive.
Hey.
What's up?
Thanks you. Good morning.
Thanks
Aloha.
Thanks for coming on my podcast.
Yeah. Shouts out, guys. What's up?
So Jehzan is a hip hop artist. She's also an entrepreneur. She's also an educator. But let's get into why you became a hip hop artist. I want to start off with that.
Yeah. So like I've been giving this a lot of thought because it's the end of the new year, so I'm like revamping press kits, websites, all that media type of stuff. Just trying to be like more and more professional with it. And I think it kind of was like ever since I was a kid, like growing up. I was born in the early 90s. I'm Filipino. I'm from Hawaii, so that
speaks to me completely. Like 90s Filipino.
I think we talked about it during our first meeting. Like our, uncles are DJs. My dad, like he can still like break dance a little bit. Like it's kind of crazy.
That might be a Filipino thing because my cousins did that too.
And there's actually this one rapper. His name is Dumbfounded. He's a Korean American rapper. But I watch his podcast a lot, and he kind of said like. Filipinos, even in like LA and the Bay, we're like importers of culture because we go around. I don't know how it happens, but like I just was always into hip hop. Like I grew up in a private school setting, Christian setting, so it wasn't like it wasn't really popular at that time when I was growing up. But in my family, it was. We do karaoke. Like I said, my uncles, like I still have uncles who do like DJs just for parties and stuff. So yeah, I think ever since I was a kid, I loved doing it. And because I was too young, my cousins never let me do like the dancing performances with them and stuff when they were dancing to like, I don't know, NSYNC and all that.
NSYNC.
But then I always knew that I would kill it. Like when I was a kid, I'd be like, man, I would kill it on here. But then I just didn't know how, And then through sports and through academics and stuff, that's kind of the path I took. And then in high school, when I was a junior, going into my senior year, I went to this spoken word poetry like camp, basically. And it was hosted at UC Berkeley, and we stayed there for about a month.
Nice.
And it was super cool. And then that was my first time like putting like words to like, ethnic studies, racism, politics, like learning about all that kind of stuff, like in like a very like highly political area, like the Bay Area is like woke, quote unquote, So coming back home, and that kind of sparked my thing into spoken word. And I was like, wow, there's like a whole scene of like people who are creative and smart and like trying to like think forward or push messages out. And that was kind of like the little inception in there. And then I came home. This was like the summer 2009, and then I started recording like my poems. I wasn't even like on beat yet. Like I was like, I would tell my cousin like, oh, just get me the beat to like this beat and this song, and then I would just like spit poems over like rap and R&B instrumentals. And then from there it just continued, and I was like, hey, I love poetry and stuff, but like rapping is like where the fun is at. So that's where I went.
Wow.
Yeah.
Long journey though.
Yeah, it's been like, it's about to be 2020, so literally over a decade already of like spitting and writing and stuff.
And it's deeply rooted in a lot of your culture as well as your family as well. I think your family roots really drive some of who you are today and what you're doing.
Definitely.
Speaking of culture, you actually recently did a tour in the Philippines, man. Which is dope. I love that.
Bro, I can't even believe it. It's kind of weird.
Tell us that experience.
Yeah, so I can't believe it's actually been almost a year because I went in February of this year. And so it's December already. So literally 2 months from now, it's going to be a year already. So it's crazy. Like it still feels fresh, but it's still kind of far away at the same time. But anyways, so I was in February. I was in Davao City, Philippines, which is the kind of like the eastern capital of the Mindanao region, which is like the southern region. Actually, most of my family and like most like Filipinos in Hawaii, most of the time are from Ilocos, which is the northern part, in Luzon. But my father and his family was actually like born and like lived and worked in Davao City. So we're Ilocano by like ethnicity. But my grandparents on my dad's side and my father and his siblings were like mostly born in Davao. So it's kind of like going back. We don't really have family there. So it literally was kind of just, I think I want to go there. Yeah, and but long story short, one of my good friends from the military, she actually moved there right after graduating college here at UH just a couple years ago. So she was already there. She spoke the language, and she has a car, a house there, and it just it just all worked out. And like as independent creatives, you know, and like trying to like be opportunity, you know, driven, it was just one of those things where like, hey, it all makes sense. All we had to do was like get the funding for it and then plan it and stuff. But I knew that I could do it, and I'm actually going to make a vlog. I keep saying this all year, but I'm finally gonna make a vlog on how I like booked everything. But really, it was not rocket science. It was actually easier than most people think. Yeah, as far as booking and using technology and the internet to reach out to people. Yeah.
How was I would say like the sleepless nights? Like you're traveling pretty much the whole time.
Yeah. So I mean, the tour was in Davao City. So we did 6 shows around the city, and then at the end, like the last week, we did a youth workshop. While I was there, I also connected with the homies at Gravity Studios. Shouts out Gravity Studios. I recorded an EP, Let's Talk Davao. And then also shouts out Erich Perez, because we actually filmed the music video. So we did shows, we did a workshop. Like, honestly, the reason why I wanted to do this and why I spent so much of 2018, and my girlfriend too, like spending so much 2018, like just preparing for it, is because I wanted to show myself that given the right tools and resources, and like kind of like the mindset and taking myself out of my like just Hawaii element, I knew that I can do this music thing full time. Like if I know what I want to do and I have like the funding and, you know, all that for it, I can do it. And like that's kind of why me and my girlfriend went to, is like to show ourselves that we can do it, and then show others that like they can do it.
Possible,
so yeah, it's totally possible. And like the Philippines is mad cheap. Like I'm not gonna lie, like it takes a lot to get there, but once you're there and you have like a decent amount of like, you know, resources in your pocket, you can do a lot as like an American citizen over there, you know. Like I'm not gonna lie. And yeah, it was just really cool. Like to this day, I'm still thinking about how I'm gonna go back, or if we might want to like live there for a period of time. And we basically did, right? Like for a whole month. And we weren't staying like in hotels or anything. We were living like with my friend in her house, and she's actually situated like right in the middle of like the city. Like she's right near the Abriza Mall, and yeah, just a lot of cool places in Davao. It was just so fun, man. Like, honestly, Davao and Mindanao gets kind of like a bad rep because of like the warfare that goes on there, the crime and stuff. But honestly, like, it was honestly like dope. Like, I never really felt unsafe, and the people there were cool. Guys and girls were really cool. And it's a super young city. That's another thing that I try to tell people. Like, Hawaii and Honolulu were even like, you know, just by population, we have a more elderly population, right? So sometimes that can affect politics or business or culture and communication, right? But in Davao, like, it's a whole lot of young people. Like Tuesday night, the malls is lit. Like, I don't know. It was just so fun. Like, just a lot of like social things to do. Young people running it and working, and just hustling hard as well. Like they working super hard over there too. So yeah, it was just super inspiring. Yeah.
Shout out to Davao, man.
Yeah, Davao, Mindanao. And shout out to all my Ilocanos too. You know, I actually my first trip to the Philippines was in 2017, and I went to Ilocos Norte and Ilocos Sur. So yeah, Davao was kind of like part 2 of my Philippine journey.
Of your journey.
Yes, yes.
Amazing. So let's talk about G a little bit, because you guys are very, you guys work very closely together, especially with your record label.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And tell us your relationship and how that translates into, you know, your career.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you asked that, because we actually make 7 years today.
Right.
It's actually our anniversary.
I was actually going to mention
Word,
that.
Yo. So we went to the Bellator fight, Salute the Troops, last night, because I'm a U.S. Army veteran too. And then tonight we scored tickets at like a super discount rate. Shouts out Vet Tickets. I think that's the website. Helps out veterans and stuff like that. But anyways, Elimale McFarlane, like Hawaii's warrior, is gonna throw down tonight. So we're looking forward to that today. So celebrating with the homies and stuff. Yeah. But yeah, you know, honestly, we kind of like stumbled upon each other. Okay, so like just give some background, we're both 28 years old and we met when we were 21. Actually, I was 20 and she was 21. She's only like a couple months older than me. And I knew that she was the one when she showed up to like this random like open mic that I did at this place called Bar 7. It was like the place to be in like 2010 to 2012 for like the young LGBT scene. And I just knew like she was like down because I didn't have a lot. I mean, I still don't really have a lot of like friends who show up to shows, but like she was there. And I think that when she saw how like serious I was about it, not only was she like more attracted to like me, but like just her own like hustle mindset as well. And I think because we been through so much as kids, it kind of made us mature already by the time we met. And when we started to realize like what our goals were, it's just something that we just kept plugging at every day, you know, like still can't believe it's been like years and years. Right. Yeah. And yeah, so she was with me through going on different like competitions. She's been with me at all my different like auditions for all this different stuff on top of school and the military. So like she's really like part of my backbone for all of this. And like I can't believe that I've been blessed this much to have that, because I realize that a lot of people don't have that like solid partnership, or they're not ready to have that solid partnership. So I knew that we also, through our time together, I've had to mature, she's had to mature, we've had to grow, readjust all the time, you know, any relationship, not just like intimate relationships or anything, even like business or professional. And I'm really blessed, we're really blessed too, that we can actually communicate like kind of like unemotionally when it comes to like the business of things. But because she's also so passionate about what I do and the art that I make, and likewise for her as well, we back up each other a lot on the business side. So it's cool. So essentially she's like my manager, my therapist, you know, my coach, support system. And I do the same for her. And then like professionally, of course, she like takes my videos. She takes pictures for me. She just helps me network and so on and so forth. Yeah.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, she's definitely a big part of your life. So another important woman that's a part of your life is your mom.
Yeah, I'm so glad.
Describe that relationship.
Wow, this is dope. Shouts out to these questions, man. Yeah, so again, like I'm super blessed to like have grown up with like such strong women, and like the strongest woman I know, like I'm so lucky and blessed. Like it's my mom. Like a lot of people have like that cool auntie or that cool grandma or whatever, but my mom is that person. Like she's the cool auntie. She's not really a grandma. She's not a grandma. And then that lady is my mom, right? So she had me when she was 19 years old. My dad was also super young when they had me. And again, like early 90s, they were just young kids. And my mom had to step out of, you know, like traditional things back when I was a kid and when she was still young. And I watched her like go through that struggle, you know, and it's sometimes when I write music, it's positive and everything, but it comes from those like really tough periods, you know. And it's crazy because even though I feel like I went through it, my mom was like doing all the heavy lifting for all of that. And from when I was a kid all the way till now, like just as like a literal testimony, she's like gone from like minimum wage to 6 figures. She's a entrepreneur. Like people say I'm an entrepreneur, but like my mom is really an entrepreneur. Like she's working right now, you know. So she's a loan officer for Guild Mortgage. Plug. Her office is at Waikele. And she's been in the finance industry for maybe over 10 to 15 years already. And I watched her go to college. Like she used to take me to her HPU classes. So my mom really taught me that like with humility and hard work and focus and ambition, the tables always turn, because people always doubt, you know, even in families, even friends, like coworkers, you know, like the whole 9 yards, everyone always gonna doubt. In Hawaii too, like I feel like there's a lot of power plays in our community sometimes where you think that because you're someone's auntie or you're someone's mom, you think that you can treat someone a certain way. But tables turn, they put in their hustle, they put in their heart and stuff, and they build their life. And now you're unhappy and like we're thriving. You know, it just, it's just life, right? Yeah, it's just karma. It's like the universe. And yeah, so like my music really, like when I talk about my childhood, it all comes from like the motivation and like mindset that my mom put into me. And so she encouraged me to like be in sports, to be in student government, to like excel in academics, because she wanted to when she was a kid, but she didn't really have that like positive reinforcement. And I really feel like that's why I lean so much and like have so much passion for being an educator too, especially for youth and young people, because a lot of young people like till this day like are living in households and families that do not give positive reinforcement or don't have like positive structure. And it doesn't matter if you have a dad or a mom or you're being raised by so and so, like it all depends on like what the adult chooses, because the kids can't control it. The adults have to choose it. And that's why I respect my mom so much, because I see a lot of different examples of parents who are not like that. You know, and it's not necessarily anyone's fault, but I feel like as adults it is your choice as far as how you want to run yourself and your household. So
an adult, we're the role models for these next generations as well.
Exactly. So we can complain all we want about the youth and the kids and all that, but it ultimately reflects on you, like as a leader, you know. And
they're watching us constantly.
Yeah. So I learned a lot from my mom. I still learn a lot from my mom. She's kind of like me and G's like angel mentor. Yeah, like we holler at her for anything. She knows like a lot of stuff. Like again, like people come to me about like social media and like the internet stuff, but she has been in it like before all it is. So she knows like marketing, she knows business, and she knows law and all that good stuff. So shouts out Jessica Ballinet, loan officer for Guild Mortgage. She actually too, like she wants to become like a writer someday, and she also wants to do like something creative. But I think in her journey she's focused on like securing wealth at like the highest of levels as she can, because she is also, you know, getting older as well. So she wants to start navigating in different ways, and it's just super inspiring. And like I don't want it to get it twisted, because like she doesn't spoil me, you know what I mean? Like she gives me advice which is like very worthwhile, but it's not like she's like fully helping me in that way. Like I really respect that too, because she lets me like go through my journey too. And but I know that she would want to, but as like a mom, she wants to also let me learn. I feel like that's a lot of things that parents don't do. Like sometimes we cradle or we coddle our kids so they don't grow or they don't know their strength. My mom like has fully like taught me like, you have strength, use it. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Just keep going.
Yes, exactly. It's one of those things, and she helps G out as well. And it's just, yeah, again, it's such a blessing. That was a great question. Thank you. Thank you. Shouts out mom, and shouts out all the moms and parents out there. Definitely. You know, yeah.
It's not Mother's Day, but
yeah, and dads too. Like, however you run in your household, guys. Like, there's no judgment, man. Like, as long as love is happy, is positive, and all that. Like, it's cool. Yeah.
So you talked about being an educator. Tell us that experience, especially with investing your time in the younger generation and being able to tell about your life experience to them and encouraging them.
Yeah. So like this is kind of funny, because ever since I was young, I knew I wanted to be a teacher, but I didn't want to just like be a teacher. Like I didn't want to just like teach ABCs and 1, 2, 3s, which I actually did. Like my younger cousins and my younger siblings can attest to this. Like I remember one summer I would go to like summer fun, and you know, at summer fun, you have like arts and crafts every day. And all I wanted to do was make workbooks for my younger cousins and my younger siblings. I would literally like hand trace like, you know, the dots of ABCs, and like till this day my cousins remember that. And I think so like through high school and college I studied business, and then I was in the army for a little while, you know, and I just feel like I have a lot to share with the youth, especially like the youth in Hawaii, and then youth who have been in situations like mine, single parenthood, split parents, you know, like the whole 9 yards, going through my identity as like a Pinay and like in my sexuality and stuff like that. I feel like I have a lot to share, and like why not share it? Like, I have nothing to hide. I feel like a lot of, you know, people who want to be mentors, they feel like they cannot because, like, they took a different path or they didn't do it exactly the right way. But I always tell my siblings and my cousins, like, I'm not a role model. I'm just a real model. Like, I'm just a real person that has gone through life and still navigating. And I still make mistakes. I still fall short in different things. But I feel like as long as you're transparent or willing to be transparent with the youth and your students, like, that's what it's about. And I always wanted to push like positive messages in my music and like hustle messages and like even go through deep storytelling sometimes, because I feel like that's how you build relationships with people. Like, forget like fans and like customer relationship management and all that. Like, it's just for like actual people. Like, these are people behind the screens. These are people, little people that are in schools and in organizations and stuff. So yeah, I just want to shout out. So my first teaching like gig was at Remington College as a business instructor for the associate level program. So I actually worked with like young people and also like people who were a little bit older than me, veterans as well. So I only did that for about a year, 2 years. And yeah, that was like my first introduction into that. And then at the same time, I started working for After School All Stars Hawaii, which is also a dope company to work for like young people who are like just interested in being around kids or like want to have fun and teach anything like arts and crafts, basketball, archery, like whatever. Like that's a dope program too. And navigating through like the nonprofit sector now, I work full time at Palama Settlement as a youth specialist. And yeah, it's just super dope, like how talented and how much potential like Hawaii's keiki have, you know. And sometimes because of the places that they live or the places that they're from or their economic status or lack of economic status, they get a bad rep or this and that and the third. And I just want to like be able to like shed light positively on them. But it doesn't mean I'm going to coddle them. It doesn't mean that I'm not going to bring out like my military voice sometimes. You know what I'm saying? So that's where people sometimes like don't really see about me. Like, I'm all about positive and like, you know, hustling and figuring out your dreams and chase the world, you know, and all that. But I'm still like authoritative and assertive when it needs to be. And that's what I think that's like an everyday challenge. Cause like how to, you know, how to be like empathetic and understanding, but also like still giving that structure and that stuff. Cause like even going from me, like a lot of my friends are like, oh, it was so cool, like living with your mom. Your mom's so young. She knows about hip hop or like she knows about all this and that. But it's like, yeah, but you wasn't in those situations when I messed up, you know? And my mom was like, listen, like this how it's gotta be. You're not acting like this. You know what I mean? And then like, again, like being in the military, like I've been through situations where people are just like screaming at my face. Like people look at me and sometimes they think I'm like so young and like I'm happy and I'm vibrant, and I am, but I've also been in like real situations, you know? Yeah. And yeah, I think all of that though is what really helped me kind of like mellow out my ego as a young person, so that now I feel like now my message is coming together, now my business is coming together, and people are really starting to see me like mature as I get older, but also like as a person and stuff. So yeah, just shouts out all the kids, man, all around the way. And the youth workshop that I did in Davao, like that was super cool. And I'm like the oldest grandchild on my mom's side, so I'm used to like being the eldest or like having a lot of keiki around me. My girlfriend is also like the kind of like the bridge between the old and new generations in her family, so she's also like broken barriers in like various different ways, you know. And so now her siblings and like our nieces and nephews, like they're starting to at least grow up in a more like open-minded environment as far as like the next generation, because it's always continuous. We're going to be the old generation at some point, you know, and I want to know that I was on the right side of history with them. And that's kind of like my whole like macro thing when it comes to that. Yeah.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
All right, guys, we'll be right back. We're actually going to do a little freestyle game.
Hey, thanks. Let's get it.
Let's get it. We'll be right back, guys. All right, guys, we are back. So, Jehzan, I have a little game. I just wanted to try this out because something about, you know, rappers, they talk about, or being MCs, you gotta be gotta be able to freestyle, right?
Yes.
And so I have some words in here.
All right.
I have 7 words in here, and we're gonna just pick 2 of them, but maybe do like a little bit of freestyle to them. And we're actually using your freestyle beat. Over
Yeah. Shouts out Cruz. This is the Ham Cipher or the Hawaii Cipher beat. He made this back in like January, and we've done it a couple times on different shows. But yeah, let's run it. I like it. It's a cool loop.
Okay. I like it too. I listened to a little bit of it. All right, so you can pick one out.
Okay.
All right, so I'll just start off the beat, and then whenever you're ready, go.
Cool. Hey. Yeah. Hey, Jehzan. First word is perseverance. I don't need a clearance. Yeah, you know I get to it. I be persevering. Shouts out the homie Gavin. We just talking story here in Connie. Yo, he chilling, vibing. I think I need another one. Give me another one. What's up, son? We need some sunshine, cause it's raining out here. Winter nights in Honolulu. Next word is focus. I stay on it like a locust, flying through the motion. And they just going through the motion, but I'm about this realness. I step to it, I get through it, cause you know we the movement. We be vibing, we be riding all around the island, and you know I be styling and I'm wildin'. Can we get another one? Hey, we gonna let the beat breathe a little. Hey, okay. Hey, I love this word. Hey, listen kids, A is for action. Can't just manifest and talk about it, gotta get active. Cause you know I did that. Active duty, I was in Missouri and South Carolina and California. You ain't been through what I've been through, cause you know that I just stepped like 1, 2, 3. And I think we gon' get the last one. This Hawaii Cipher, shouts out Cruz. Let me do one more. Okay, yeah, we gonna end on this note. B is for believe, so best believe you gon' see me on TV or MTV or the BET Cypher. I might just go cut my hair. I did though. Shouts out Paul Mitchell. They came to Kalakaua Middle School, my last gig. The other night I was rapping for the kids. Then they was like, yo, get your hair cut, miss. Yeah, and so they cut it and they braided it. Shouts out. Yeah. For sure. They really did. The Paul Mitchell students came to Kalakaua Middle School for their like winter program, and then I'd rapped, and then after I was like, okay, let me get my free haircut. So they trimmed it and layered it. Like I still have pretty long hair, but they trimmed it and layered it, and then you can see on my Instagram they actually like braided it and everything.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that last night. Yeah, that was pretty dope.
Cool.
Just saying. Well, we did 2 more words than but that was sick. That was sick. Oh, I love that.
I'm on Sway or something.
Woo,
yes.
Sway. Hey, one day you're gonna be on Sway, man.
Thanks.
Shout out to Sway, man.
Hey, yeah, Sway Universe.
All right, Jehzan, thank you again for joining me on my podcast. And how can people reach you? Online and social media and whatever.
Yep. So I actually have my own website. That's www.jehzanexclusive.com. JEHZAN exclusive.com. There you'll find my music, videos,
merch.
Yeah, my merch is also on there. Thanks for that plug. All of that. And also like artists, I actually like do this for artists too. So like I know how to set up websites. I know how to like do like basic press kits. I do like media services. Obviously, you know, Third Eye Films, G and me. We do photography, videos. We don't do music videos, but we do like vlogs, behind the scenes, promotional kind stuff. Just hit us up. I actually just launched my services page on my website too. So I've been doing like different services for a long time. I just haven't like really put it together in like one place where people can like book it. So now I'm like, you know what? We're going into 2020. We just got to get right on the interwebs and professionally and stuff. So if people need help with press kits, I do artist biographies too. Like I'm just all about trying to like help artists get more professional, you know, because especially in a place like Hawaii, got a lot of talent, got a lot of drive, got a lot of energy. But I really feel like if you really want to get to the next level, that's what's going to set you apart. It might not really do that, but at least you have it in place, like for when that time comes. Because obviously you still got to have the good music, the good stage presence, and the whole package. But at least having it, it really helps. So yeah. I got some more plugs too, but you can.
No, go ahead.
Okay,
go
cool.
ahead.
Yeah, so
so
yeah, my name is Jehzan Exclusive, Hawaii female hip hop artist, aspiring entrepreneur, educator. If you guys want to book me for shows, workshops, asterisks,
podcast,
all bookings are subject to fees. I'm just saying. And but yeah, man, we can work it out, and just go to my website on all that. I also run my own hip hop blog that's on the Daily Hip Hop, aka OTD Hip Hop. For the past 4 years, it's been hosted on my website, but in 2020, actually on New Year's Eve, I'll be actually deleting that page from my website and relaunching it as its own website, actually. And yeah, artists who like want to get featured, want to do interviews, have any questions, want to record with me. Like I have my own little home studio where people can record. I don't do mixing or anything like that, but I can provide feedback. I have like the whole 9 yards, the soundproofing, the computer, the speakers, microphone, all of that. And yeah, I'm just really trying to like help artists and like continue to grow my career as well. Third Eye Films, you can book me or G or both of us, photos, videos. Just go ahead and check that out. On Instagram, we're _ Third Eye Films. We're on Facebook and all that. And yeah, so you actually mentioned that we actually are starting our own record label. It's not like super official yet, but we're getting like the thing situated, and we're already calling it SKYLEX ENT. It's my license plate. Maybe I shouldn't put that out there, but like it's the company car. You know what I mean? It takes us all over.
Well, I mean, that's good. You know, you have it on your
and it's the whole branding of it. SKYLEX comes from our Hanai Keiki that we've watched ever since they were kids. Skylar and Alexis, and then there's actually another little girl. Her name is Mia, but she wasn't born when we came up with SKYLEX. So that's why we call it SKYLEX, and it's just kind of like gonna be a positive like place for people to creatively come together to build businesses, or people can hire us to, I don't know, do social media campaigns for them, provide feedback for whatever they're doing. And I'm just trying to like help. I also like, you know, through college and the military and all that, I've done like a lot of networking and stuff, so I can help people get plugged in different areas. So I just want to do that. 2020, you know, I mean, I definitely want to travel and continue to build the brand and hustle and stuff. But I think next year I'm really going to focus on like doing more like shows on my own, like shows that I throw, shows that I actually, you know, put together and stuff like that. So stay tuned for all of that. That's gonna come soon, and gonna be in and out of Hawaii. And I'm just super stoked like for 2020 and everything that everyone is doing, what you're doing. Thank you for these platforms, and it's just so cool. Like again, like I told you before we started recording, like when you stay focused on your purpose, like shouts out Curtis King. He's another like he's a producer, but he also like is in the industry and helps like people with their social media and marketing and business. I just finished reading his book called The Prosperous Hip Hop Producer, and he said that a lot of times we run our lives through passion, which is good. There's nothing wrong with that. But through passion is sometimes it's emotionally driven, and you can start to do things because you're passionate. You know, you get into fights because you're passionate. You know what I mean? Sometimes you get
so true.
You know, you get into riots or other things like that because you're passionate. Not always, but sometimes that. But the thing that you should like run life by, and what I'm trying to like tell myself to focus on more, is your purpose. Because when you're purpose driven, you let go of your ego, and you kind of like come from a more deeper place. Like maybe you might have to close your mouth in this situation because this is going to take you to the next point. And at that point, the table, like I told you again, like the tables always turn. That's where you can like spit the truth in like a more like lit way. Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. That's a lot of plugs. That's awesome.
Yeah. So shouts out. Just holler at us. Like, we honestly, the reason why is because we're looking to do this full time. Like, don't get me wrong, I love, you know, working with kids and like doing all kinds of stuff to hustle and stuff like that. But we want to make this our lives. And when we get to that point, hopefully very soon, we're going to make that jump. And the trip, the Davao tour was like a pre snippet to a preview to that. And now we just have to continue building and doing that, and then we're gonna like set it off that way. Yeah.
And if you guys ever want to see more episodes, or you guys want more updates, hit me up on Instagram. I'm mostly on Instagram. I have a Facebook too, but
cool.
I'm mostly on Instagram.
Okay, dope.
I just checked my Facebook the other day. I had 76 notifications.
Yes.
Which is crazy.
Yeah.
It was like an email
Yep.
that point.
Oh, and then of course you guys can find me on all streaming platforms. Jehzan Exclusive. I have singles, EPs on there. More music coming your way on those platforms too.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks again, Jehzan.
Thank you.
We'll see you guys in the next episode.
Jehzan Exclusive.
All right. It's funny. I always get nervous with these. You must be very comfortable around the camera.
No nervousness anymore.